Alright, today we will be doing Microwin, a Windows utility. There's a bunch of other stuff I was thinking about rattling around in my brain for different GUI front ends, and kind of taking the Vlonia library, and man, I just love that library to death for a lot of my other projects, and maybe even doing a complete revamp of the GUI of the micro, or actually just Windows utility altogether. Might be a little excessive. So I was just kind of throwing that idea out there. I might do a fork, give it a whirl, see how that would work. Man, there's just so much to look at there. So a massive GUI redesign is a little scary, but that's where fun happens. That's where the fun happens. Caleb, you better not be doing F# on WinUtil. Well, it's not really F# per se. F# utilizes the .NET frameworks, and the .NET frameworks are pretty vast and extensive, and there are some really cool libraries we could pull from. I mean, it's kind of funny. The more I look at like all these different programming languages, the more I'm like, man, they may not be the same, but they sure do rhyme a bunch. There's a bunch of like, I think once you learn one or two of them, it's just kind of like two different ones, especially low level compared to the other ones. Low levels can change a little more, but when you get functional programming, it all looks pretty much the same. Just like, oh, well, there's these nuances. This is mutable and unmutable, and then different ways of doing more of the complex subjects, which I'm not very good at. But yeah. Man, there's some really cool stuff. But today I did want to take a peek at this. So we're gonna make a new Microwin. Oh, actually, oh, geez. You know what? Dagnummit. I can't remember what my hotkey was for that. Oh, what in the world? Oh, gross. So this is a stock Windows 11. I gotta remember how to undo the hotkey. The ad says commercial break in progress instead of showing me the ad. That's hilarious now. So yeah, this should be fun though. There's so much I kind of want to look at. Man, if I could just... What's the full screen vert manager? Full screen hotkey vert manager. That's a good question. Is there not a hotkey for full screen? No? Maybe right? No. Huh. Control F, ain't it? Right in the middle there should be something, but it doesn't pop up because of my synergy. Oh well. Windows updates, how fun. Not. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Saw you added myself. Yeah. The DISM tools. Well, the PR was from Calum. I thought that was already in there. Yeah, Control Alt doesn't work. Oh, there it goes. Yay. Okay, I gotta figure out this stupid hotkey. I think what I'll do. Can I just always leave that? So to get out of that, there should be a hotkey somewhere. Yeah, I don't think there is though. Let's go preferences. I don't think we're gonna get anything. Maybe we could just always leave up the hotkey that does the auto hide. So grab keys is Control and Alt on L, but for some odd reason that was not working for me. I was going Control Alt, and then it wasn't ungrabbing my keys, so that's a bummer. Maybe. Hell with it. I tell you what we'll do. We'll just start it up, and then we just won't go full screen. So I don't lose my damn mouse. Yeah, it's by default Vert Manager to ungrab your keys is Control and Alt on the left, and then you can go up to this part of the screen, and it'll usually have a little drop down, and then you can unfull screen your setup. But for whatever reason, that's just not working for me. All right, so let's come on over into WinUtil. And we're going to get these PRs. So there's two PRs that are really, really interesting from Coding Wonders and also the Microwin. Omit Brave Sync on Brave Debloat. What's going on with this? Remove Brave Sync from options that are being disabled by the... You need to sign up for a service, or rather... Huh. Huh. Yeah. Martin is right here. Let's remove this. Approve. Submit. That's annoying. Why would they disable? I might have not. Might have not there, but anyways, that's fixed now. Was there anybody else in here? Fix scaling of UI elements when applying font scaling. Spooky. Single-handedly is doing all the scaling. That's funny. Alright, cool. We also need to run this really fast, but... yeah. Let's approve that. Submit. I should test this, but... we're going to be moving fast and breaking things today. Oh, yes. Control G, really? Oh. All right. But yeah, anyway, sorry, getting back to the PRs. We got a bunch from Coding Wonders and Calum. The biggest thing here, I forget what I labeled the stream. I think it was like auto something rather. Which there's a... this was instituted a long time ago, and I used it like 3 or 4 times probably. But it's kind of a cool feature. A lot of people don't realize you can actually feed WinUtil parameters, and it'll auto tweak without a GUI. So that's basically a CLI version of the WinUtil. It's just nobody really ever uses it. So that's what's up. We're gonna do that now. Calum submitted some blockade fix, which I think was a problem when you didn't feed the proper parameters. It would just die, where this one should do it. So when I was looking over the code looked good. Just pre-processor hashing. Yeah, you probably need to do that. And then for this, he does a null check here, which is good. And then we have essentially a weight stuck in here while it applies tweaks. It's not going to try and install features and applications all at the same time. So it'll go, hey, apply all the tweaks first, then wait for those to finish, then apply the features, then apply the applications when doing it all through the CLI. All this looks great. So that was the blockade fix from Calum. Thank you, sir. That looks beautiful. So we'll squash merge. And then we also have a big update to Microwin. Now the secure string does not have a close method. Missing method in an object type. Assume the rest of the code should work. Where was this at? Password close. Oh, yeah. Okay. That was the new... we just revamped. It's not live yet, but we just revamped when like you install Spotify and you have to use a user instead of an admin, because Spotify doesn't like to be installed via admin. Whatever. It'll actually do that properly. So good stuff. Hell, we're just gonna squash and merge all of it and fix it on the fly. Shouldn't do 6 PRs before doing a test, but let's first run these. All right, I'm not gonna do the big Microwin PR all at once. We're gonna batch these 5 together though, or 4. Moving fast. I don't even think I'm signed in. It doesn't matter. Does not matter. Are you okay, or are you great, or are you just surviving? Oh man, I'm doing great. Oh man, let's go. Is GH in here? I don't think it's in here. 1 second. Oh, what? Why am I drawing a blank? Was it IEX? No, that's not right. Is it? Yeah. Dude, I'm still waking up. I should have had more coffee. Well, actually, I hadn't had any coffee. I had this stupid sparkling energy from V8. All right, let's install Git. Where are you at, Git? Just give me regular old Git, please. Isn't the package GitHub CLI? It is, Phoenix. That's GH. So if you're doing GH, repo clone, all those types of things, it makes sense. I got plenty of sleep. I got like 9 hours, man. So I'm doing good on my sleep. Everyone always like, oh, you look so tired. I'm like, dude, it's just called getting old. That's just how it works. You'll never sleep the same. You'll never sleep like you did in your 20s. It's just something they don't tell you. Yeah, we're not going to use GH. I'm not going to do an auth. We're just going to pull down, do our tests, and then call it good. Did that fail? Oh, it did fail. Well then. Let's relaunch. Oh, it's about talking about coffee. Yeah, I just love coffee. Yeah, no. But coffee sometimes doesn't love me. So today we're not doing any coffee. No coffee today. We're just gonna do about 80 milligrams of caffeine through the sparkling water V8 stuff, and then move on to protein shakes. I'm probably going to regret that decision, but here we are. All right, let's go. Git clone. GitHub.com. Chris Titus Tech. WinUtil. Oh, boop, boop, boop. Well, whatever. Let's just, we're gonna not do an elevate. We're gonna do just a regular old terminal. I can't stand coffee. Yeah. I slept 1 to 2 hours last night. I'm running off of coffee at the moment. To be young again. If I had like 1 or 2 hours of sleep, I'd be like, I'd be okay for like maybe an hour or two. Usually about 1 or 2 hours on 1 or 2 hours of sleep, but then I have to take a nap. It's just like one of those things, you know? Like you can get away with it. Does not exist, huh? I guess let's put the HTTPS. Alright, WinUtil. Alright, this is a fresh install, so we are going to compile and run. So, wow, alright, 1 second. Let's set the execution policy. Unrestricted. The one time I launched that without admin, that's what happens. All right, we could do a current scope, current user, but I don't want to do that. Let's just do it as admin and call it good. Man. All right. All right, scoping this out. We are on a fresh system, so we can see all the problems that a new user might run into. All right. Here comes our run. This is with our PRs that we just did. So let's do 150. Boom. Yeah. All of the... It's kind of cool. I like the new scaling options. That's neat. Thanks, I think it was Spooky that did that. And then we got the Microwin adjustments that we're gonna make. Everything looks good here. I did not see any errors. So let's just go ahead and push out the next Microwin. That's new. Looks like something went wrong. We track these errors automatically. Okay. Server error. Oh, that's unfortunate. Huh. Well then, it does not like that pull request. GitHub says, no, you shall not pass. What? Let's take off my, maybe, what the world? What? Guess the CLI it is. All right. What the hell? Coding Wonders, they don't like you, man. What are you doing? Jeez, Microsoft says no. I don't like that guy. I don't like that guy. Ooh. All right, let's go. Open recent. Let's go WinUtil. Ooh, you know, probably the easiest way to manage the PR. Ah, that's okay. We'll just open it right here. It's fine. Dude, how long ago was I on this branch? Dang. 181 commits ago. That's crazy. Alright, we're up to date. Cool. Let's go into GitHub. Let's pull up Microwin. Dude. Error. Something went wrong with executing your query. GitHub does not like this Microwin pull request. I just looked at it like an hour ago. Say what? GitHub broken. Damn it. It's probably Ruby on Rails. Crap in the bed. Alright, let's see. Or GraphQL queries. I don't know. So here's the pull request. Nah. That's a whole different system. It does not like it. Coding Wonders got shadow banned from GitHub. I can't even pull it down. What? There is no other pull request. That's wild. Oh, man. It's only a matter of time before I broke GitHub. 500 a server sider. Their servers exploded. Holy crap. Yeah, I can't pull it down. I tried to through VS Code, and we also, I mean, I could pull it from GH maybe, but no, I don't even think that. That's wild. Damn. They're out to get you, brother. They want you to use Copilot. What? So there was the PR, like, oh no, it's all down. The other PR is not working either. Okay. Yeah, I can't pull any of it. GitHub shit the bed. Okay. Well, we broke GitHub. Oh god, who hacked into frickin' AWS and broke down another data center? Ugh. Or who's the new network engineer that updated the BGP without consulting the senior? That happens too. Hopefully it's not the BGP. We'll be down for like hours. It's like half a day before that crap has to be updated. Like you push out a bad BGP update, it'll crash your whole network for like 12 hours and there's not a damn thing you can do about it. Is your Copilot token dead or something? Oh, I think they got banned actually. The Copilot Claude 4, I think they banned Open AI, hence Microsoft as well. So I don't think we can even use it anymore. Let's see. That's another thing. While GitHub fixes itself, let's go into Ask mode. We're in Cloud Sonnet 4, and let's say we go over to input XML. Let's ask a question, a simple question. What about changing the GUI library to use .NET Avalonia? Ah, God, what's the .NET library? Visual Studio subscription benefits. I'll close that. I can't remember. That's not how you spell it. Wallet is a thing. I can't remember. Avalonia. I was close. So close. Ava. Not Avo. Okay. Avalonia. What steps should I take? GitHub's broken. Oh no. Prime was using AI in Vim. Yeah, I mean, Cloud Code works pretty darn good. Sorry, I can't assist with that. I'm designed to help with directory structure proposals for new projects, not modifying existing code bases or changing GUI libraries. What? What do you mean you can't assist with that? Okay, that's fine, I guess. I feel like they're limiting Claude. Man, everything's broken. Everything's just broken today. That's okay, I guess. Let me think. What's a better way of asking this question? Okay. Okay, let's say using XAML, how would I use the Lonia UI instead of using WPF like this file? Bro, what the hell? Alright, I guess let's go Jippity 4.0 and see what happens. Yeah, I think they blocked it. What? Did it get gimped? What's happening here? Can only assist with file tree directory structures. Let's see. Okay, there it goes. Yeah, so this is Jippity. Let me try and do it on Claude now. So let's switch the model out. Go Claude 4. Paste. And this one, rerun without. Okay, that is working here too. Kind of interesting. Oh, I'm using some weird new projects wizard. Huh. Was not aware of that. So you would change a namespace. where is... Yeah, right now I don't think... I wonder if it can import that library or not. That's very interesting. So here's the Claude example. It says, hey, changing the namespace to GitHub Avlonia UI, removing a couple features that aren't available that is WPF specific, like layout rounding, window style equals none. Changing target type to selector syntax, remove complex control templates. Window start location remains the same, and can resize instead of resizing properties. Most basic works similarly. Okay, good. So that is the Sonnet version. Now let's see what Jippity gave us as a difference. About the same, actually, not so much. Key changes: remove WPF workspaces from Livonia templates. Using Livonia controls, window grid button, and properties. Using the same, a little bit different binding syntax from WPF. And then rewriting styles with this Livonia system. That's interesting. I'm not going to actually apply any of this, but I just wanted to see what it would take, because that would be kind of cool. Because WPF is from 2006, so WinUtil has kind of like this older look to it, and I kind of want to update it. And I really like Avlonia UI. Like when I was using MacUtil, I was really impressed with how it could emulate so many different things. It does require a lot of manual intervention. Like obviously AI is not going to help you with design, but it was not that bad. I did it in probably 4 or 5 hours and was able to emulate almost a Mac application identical. Like most people would be like, oh, that's Swift, but it wasn't. It was just using this library, and I was like, dude, I think I can do pretty much anything in this. Very, very cool library though. So, but it's a very, very flexible styling system. I kind of want to convert from WPF to it and use it for the WinUtil. Why don't you get yourself a RTX Pro 6000 and self-host your LLM? It's only 10K. I think I'll just use my credits. I'm good. Most of my requests are all free. I don't actually do subscription services to any AI stuff. So like Copilot's given to you free if you host a public repo on GitHub with, I think it's like 2,000 or 3,000 stars. So if you do open source stuff, you actually get Copilot for free, which gives you Sonnet and Jippity. You get about what you'd get on like a $20 plan, I think. I mean, I used the hell out of Sonnet 4 last month, although I think that gravy train's coming to an end. And then I have Claude Code with API keys, so then I just get charged per request. Yeah. So for like Cloud Code, I would just do, oops. Oh, lordy. Try pulling changes from my fork. I think what I'll do is just close this out. I do want to explore that a little bit, but I was like, ooh, I don't know about changing all that. Now let's see if old GitHub came back. Still got an error. How unfortunate. And if you go into GitHub, actually, let's go. So this is yours, but we don't have a PR from this. This is just where you did your PR. Ah, man, that sucks. So it does pull up your fork of it, but it does not pull up the PR. Any PR, really. Yeah, so GitHub's just down. Well, I don't know how long GitHub's going to be down. Damn it, that just kind of throws a wrench in things today. Well, we could look at a conversion to Avlonia UI. That would not require doing any PRs. Yeah, I still have all those other PRs here, so I mean, I could just clone yours, run it, and test it out that way, but I wanted to include the other PRs we did before yours, but it's not the end of the world. It's fine. Man, that was wild. It crashed right in the middle of us doing all this. Damn it, GitHub. Yeah. GH is just throwing 500s for all PRs, which is server-side errors. Oh, man. Yeah, let's look at the issue on githubstatus.com. Unfortunate. Oh, man. Yeah. So webhooks is completely down. Git operations. Performance for git clones, pulls, pushes. Oh, my God. Well, all right. Well, sad phase. So I wanted to go through a couple while we have this downtime because GitHub's PR systems crashed. So the first idea was to use Avlonia UI with the interface on here for WinUtil. The other thing I was thinking is doing that, but making a GUI front end for the Linux utility. Now, you could do a full refactor of the Linux utility, but I don't think I want to do that in F#. I mean, it could. Maybe. Actually, that could be fun. What if, I mean, people are going to be pissed refactoring it from Rust to F#. People are like, what is wrong with you? But, I don't know. Could be fun. I think we'll do that. Let's just see what happens. Let's go. Let's see what happens. Dude, I cannot believe that. That's wild. We're so close too. So we'll have to continue that at another time. So there goes my PRs for the day. Well, we did get a lot of them. We only had one PR left to really look at from Coding Wonders. I mean, it was a big PR for Microwin, but that's okay. We'll do it on Thursday. Or if GitHub gets their crap together here in an hour or something, we'll take a look at it. So anyways, Linux utility. I do like cargo system. So yeah, the Rust is neat for the cargo system and how it does like its upload to crates.io. I do like that aspect of Rust, where F# would be just all there. Oh man, so many So many things I'm thinking about here. Yeah, no, redoing the whole TUI and stuff would suck. Because we use Ratatouille libraries in Rust. I'm thinking through, going through all my. There's not really much of a TUI library in F#. That would not be conducive of that. Well, is there? Let's see. Is there a TUI library F#? There's curses. Yeah, that would be something. Bubble tea, written and go. Yeah, I mean, you could use, instead of bubble tea, you could use gum and use something like that. I don't like that. That's such a jank solution. That would be like mixing Go and F#. Let's see frameworks. Rust is neat. Like I said, I do, as much as people shit all over Cargo for just being slow as balls, I really love it. From the, when you're using Cargo, the errors are super explanatory. Like, you're like, oh, that's where the error is. That's why the error happened. And here, oh, here's the fix for the error. I mean, it's really neat in that respect. Like, yes, Rust is a very hard language to read, but it's really impressive. The compiler is just so damn good. Yes, I know it's slow, and yes, I know it's kind of bloated, but it's really good in that respect. And then also the upload and publishing system with crates.io for Rust, I see why people love it. It's just so neat. All right, let's see. This is a neat little awesome F# library reference. Let's see what maybe we can find some cool libraries to use. I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel here. I want to just steal other people's stuff. So you got what GUIs are they doing? Probably Avlonia. Yeah, Avlonia. Elmish. Anybody ever use Elmish? Epoxy. And Fabulous. Ah, interesting. I'm just gonna scroll through all these libraries and see. Something pops out at me. Oh, you could use F# with Godot. How about that? Logging, package management. What the hell's packet? Oh, yeah, it just auto installs. fparsec. That's interesting. I've used F#JSON for serialization. That actually works really well. Oh, the PR is back? Alright, good stuff. I'm gonna pop back over there once I finish reading all these libraries. Just seeing if there's anything in here that I might use in the future for different projects. FS unit for unit testing. Oh, that's kind of cool. I'm not a real fan of F# Phantomas, or whatever the hell it's called, for its testing and syntax verification. It's very picky, and I'm not a huge fan of that one. Type providers. And visualization, my web frameworks. I think we did a whole F stack. So I wanted to see about doing a full stack F# implementation, and it was really pretty minimal, and it looked pretty darn good. It's kind of surprising how well it did for the full stack. But I kind of want to see what programs I pulled in for that. So if we look at GitHub, Chris Titus, F stack. So for the F stack, let's see, we're using Entity Framework and let's see, database context. So Entity Framework Core is what we're using for the data. For the controller, what were we doing for it? ASP, not that. Ugh, I hate ASP. Okay. Models, nothing. There, services, API service. Yeah, nothing there. Background service, no. We're good. It was interesting, and then so basically it just used really simple HTML, one CSS file, and then minimal JavaScript for the dashboard, which I was like, that worked pretty darn well. Somewhat minimal JavaScript. Yeah, just but pretty basic. It worked well enough. I don't know. I'm crazy. Are we making a GUI or a TUI? Yeah, for a TUI, I don't think I'd use F#. It just, I don't see anything that would like jump out at me that would be good. Like with Rust, Ratatouille for the TUI worked so well. So when we're doing that terminal user interface on Linux utility, man, I think we picked the right thing actually. Like I know a lot of people are like, we probably should have used Go with Bubble Tea, but man, I really enjoyed the setup we ended up with Linux utility. I think we just kind of fell into that, and that's been great. What's up, Syntax? Yeah, so I was just looking at TUI options with F#. There's not any good ones. Which kind of makes sense, really, when you think about it, because F#'s just kind of like a splinter of C#, just more functional, and Microsoft's never been known to make a good TUI at all. I can't even think of anything they've ever done in the TUI that's like decent. All of it's just kind of like, oh, well, we did it back in like the 90s and 80s, but we don't really do that anymore. So I guess that's not really that surprising. So yeah, no, rewriting Linux utility from a TUI perspective, no, we're not doing it. Rust is where it will stay. But the GUI perspective, we could do a sister app that pulls all those scripts, and you do it through Linux. Now that's possible. Now F# would not be a bad choice for that. Yeah. The CLIs are doable. They just don't look very good. That's the problem. Yeah, so the problem I have with like C#, F#, terminal user interfaces, anything I've seen has just been god ugly and just awful compared to what you could do in Go and compared to what you can do in Rust, what we've already done in Rust. So like rewriting the Rust to the F#, unless somebody proves me wrong there and says, hey, check out this library, it does all these things, it's super cool and it looks good, then I might go, oh, okay. But I don't think I'd seen anything that's like worthwhile. What about script raptors instead of a language such as YAD? I've looked at YAD. Another one that's used quite often is like Zenity, and Whiptail is probably the biggest on Linux that's used quite a bit. Yeah, and they just end up looking kind of ugly. That's why I kind of was like, let's roll our own and just create it, because I really just did not like a lot of that. Yeah, Whiptail's 2e only. Yeah. YAD guide. YAD looks cool. I've seen this before. I think that's neat, that you essentially make just a bash script a GUI, and it looks pretty good. So yeah, doing this would probably be more my speed, and not very hard at all. Does look good though. Kinda. I think the problem I have with like YAD or Zenity, from a GUI perspective, and now we're talking about the GUI, it just looks old. The problem that most people have, I think, with Linux and GUIs is there's just not any taste to it. It's just bland, dated, is what most setups in Linux end up looking like. A lot of people end up going, God, looks like something from 10, 20 years ago. Sometimes it is. And I think that's the main problem I have with YAD. Very functional, totally can get the job done. It's perfect for what we're doing, but the problem is it just doesn't look great. You know what I'm saying? It's just kind of like meh. It looks fine, just looks dated. I think that's the big problem I have. And I want full control over every single look and feel. Like, I'm like, I'd probably make this task. The title bar is a little too big. I'd probably make that a little smaller. I'd clean up some of these angles a little bit. And then there's just some cleaning that needs to happen. Yeah, in modern Qt and GTK apps look nice. Might be worth a shot as well. Agreed. And those are fine libraries. One thing I really liked about when I was doing Hyperland with QuickShell. QuickShell was based off of all the Qt libraries, and we made QuickShell look pretty darn good. So yeah, I think that's kind of neat. I'm pretty sure YAD has a dark mode variant, and it just depends on how you set up your system. So I think you're okay. I don't know what the framework is behind YAD, or if it's its own independent thing. But yeah, it's interesting. It's a good option though, and thanks for pointing that out. I mean, for most people out there, if you're just setting something up for your business, or you just need something to toss it up and get going in a day or two, YAD and Zenity and all those are very easy. You can just write it in a bash script and it'll pop out a entire GUI for you, and it's very, very fast. So that's a great option. So I appreciate Bingo pointing that out. Yeah, you can theme it a bit. All right, I'm done with that. Now, let's go back. Let's get this thing done, shall we? All right, let's go get hub. We are back. And the PR is back. Haha. Let's go. Potential blockade needs to be fixed. I created an issue about this over here. Yep, we already got that. So essentially what we're doing, or what Coding Wonders implemented with Microwin, is using the CLI to issue the tweaks without a GUI being popped up. So it'll run all of the tweaks directly, which is great. So we've already merged the blockade fix for that. And if we look at the changes, let's open up the changes so you can see that. Get out of here. And get that. So from a changes perspective, where's that? Middle bar. There we go. All right. So from a changes perspective, I'm just going to pull this over a little bit so we can see anything being removed. We got a new try catch right here, so a little error trapping happening. A lot of people, this might be related to ESDs. ESDs need a little bit more processing compared to the Win, or the WIM type thing. So you got to extract ESDs. I think we only ran into this on Windows 10. I don't know if Windows, correct me if I'm wrong here, but Windows 11, I don't think really uses ESDs much anymore. ESDs essentially was like double compression. There's probably a little more nuance to it than that, but you got to extract the WIM from the ESD. You don't necessarily ever need an ESD, but sometimes they... And the thing that bugs me about Microsoft is some releases come with ESD, some just like, screw it, it's just a WIM file. So you just don't know, and it varies depending on each version. So I think like between like 22H2 and 23H2, I think one used an ESD or something. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to it. Maybe the guy that does ESD was sick that day when they did the release. I don't know. It's just like weird shit like that when it comes to Microsoft. Oh, and we Coding Wonders doing the WPBT execution. This was exploited by well, I shouldn't say it was exploited by ASUS, but ASUS was the one that essentially opened up the hole because of like Armory Crate. They would use WPBT execution, and hackers took control of some of the ASUS stuff out there. So what WPBT execution does is before everything's loaded in the system, it executes it first at like a ring 0 type situation. Think of like CloudStrike. And ASUS, when they got hacked, or hackers took advantage of it on ASUS systems, because ASUS kind of opens up. They didn't, I think they finally have patched it, but it was open for like an entire year. And yeah, anyways, you want to disable that. And if you do disable it, I think like Armory Crate probably won't work, but you shouldn't use Armory Crate anyways. That's awful. And if there's any ASUS fanboys out there, stop following me. There's no hope for you. You should just go away. You're a lost cause at this point. If you still are backing ASUS, yeah, I'm sorry. I can't help you. What's that one favorite community says? You can't fix stupid? Yeah, that's you if you like ASUS. So don't be buying ASUS with Armory Crate and all that crap. Just awful. Anyways, but if you do, just disable Armory Crate through BIOS and use this. And you don't necessarily have to do Microwin for this. You can actually just set this directly. And I think we actually have the tweak tool for that as well. They flip a coin each release, yeah. So anyways, you can, either way, everyone should just disable WPBT execution. It's a massive security vulnerability in Windows systems, period. Full stop. It just should never have existed, and you just don't run it. And if you don't do Microwin, I think we added that into the Windows toolbox. We'll check it here in a second. All right, moving on. Looks like we're adding this back in. I thought this wasn't needed anymore. Did they add more of the system requirements back into Windows again? Because the whole bypassing the CPU, RAM check, all this stuff in the lab config, I thought this was for only the initial couple versions of Windows 11. And now I don't believe this is really required. But either way, it doesn't hurt to have these keys in there just to make sure it's not there. If you do use Microwin and you use Rufus to burn the CD, you should know that Rufus tries to do these same tweaks as well. So it will fail if you're using Microwin. Just make sure you're not trying to double tweak something when it comes to an ISO, because it'll just fail to burn because it can't do those modifications since the modifications have already been done. Yeah. So you never want to install Armory Crate, just period. Just get rid of it, uninstall it. If you have it, go into your BIOS settings and disable it from your BIOS and say, do not use Armory Crate. It's been exploited multitude of times, and you just open yourself up to a lot of security vulnerabilities. So that's the downside to it. So don't. And I single out ASUS because it's the biggest offender in this space. There are probably other manufacturers that do have their own utilities for like updating things. You don't ever want to use these. They're just really, really bad. One, they take up memory and usually run on startup. So it's an issue there. You're sacrificing performance for some artificial update that may or may not break your system. So you want to be able to update on your leisure. Do not turn that control over to a manufacturer. But let's say the manufacturer's competent, which very few of them are. But let's say they are competent and actually manage their software servers properly and then actually have them secured, which is a pretty big stretch in today's environment. I don't think that we will. You'll be at their mercy of any updates they decide to install on your system. It'll just auto install. So everything might be working perfectly, and then all of a sudden, oh, just kidding, Bluetooth has an update. We're gonna push that out. And then it gets updated, and then all of a sudden your Bluetooth stops working because you updated your driver. You know, these things should just not be auto updates. No. It's just the whole premise is a terrible one, even if you take out all the security flaws to it. I just can't get over how dumb the entire idea of all this is. It's just like, nobody ever like stopped to think, hey, we could do this, but should we do this? And that question was never proposed anywhere. Like, why did this even become a thing? Like, it's so stupid. Anyways, I'm sorry. Continuing on. Just removing some old comments here. Another try catch for exporting Windows image. I think there was some issues. I remember seeing a couple issues on the GitHub there. Checking if it's an ESD file so we can actually do it. I think ESD files were just failing completely on Microwin, which, yeah, there's not very many of them these days, so it shouldn't matter, but it's good to have that catch in there. And then we're adding an auto config dialog function. Let's see, this is sets the automatic configuration file based on the specified JSON file. All right, cool. And this is the auto configure button that's getting added. Perfect. Oh yeah. Coding Winner's giving you some credit here, Caleb. That's cool. And then a couple input XAML changes. What are we doing here? This is the Microwin section, it looks like. Adding an auto config box, auto configure button. I might go through and change this. I want to kind of streamline that a bit. So, but overall, this looks like great. It's a great starting spot. So let's merge this bad boy, shall we? Actually, I think we can just approve it and then merge. Wait. Oh my God, did it break again? Oh, wait, no. Looks good. Okay, we're good. I was like, oh, please. No, we're fine. All right, let's squash and merge. We're about to test it, so you're about to find out what it does. Let's launch this bad boy. Yeah, it's kind of wild to see how the evolution of WinUtil over the years. It's only been 5 years of development. And man, coming from the early days to today, like before, like it started out just as a straight PS1 script with just CLI. I think I had like a couple questions on my first iteration that I released to the public. And then everyone's like, I really need a GUI. And I was like, oh God, I don't do GUIs. And then everyone's like, but yeah, we really need it though. And I'm like, okay, well, let me see what I can do in PowerShell. So initially I was making a win form like with absolute values, and it was just an absolute nasty GUI, but it worked. People were like, oh, this is great. Yeah. And then eventually it just slowly morphed in. We've had some massive contributions over the years, and man, I remember the sticking point. I was like, I absolutely hate win forms, and I refuse. There's just no future here. There's no way to build on it because managing these absolute values was just a complete headache for me. I think I even used a tool, like there was an online tool to manage win forms that would auto create it for you. And I started doing that to make it look good, and so I could line everything up and get a decent win form style GUI. But I was like, this is awful. I was like, all right, there's got to be a better way. And then I was like, okay, XAML looks like you can import the libraries. Everything looks good. And oh my gosh. Hello. How's it going? Oh, food. Oh. You're the best.
I was gonna come in and ask you for your breakfast, but I already got answered.
There was that one day I had breakfast.
That's true.
Oh, thank you, my sweet. Everything go good with Bubba?
Yep, she said she'll see him in 6 months.
Awesome.
And they'll be moved over to across the street.
Oh, yeah. Across from Meadow Creek.
Yeah, so we were like, that's awesome.
Oh, sweet. Awesome. All right. Oh. All right. I got some breakfast again. All right, let's run this really fast so we can see what everyone was talking about with WinUtil. So this is a fresh stock version of Windows 11. Let's take a screenshot. Oh, not a screenshot. Damn it. Snapshot. Vert Machine had snapshots, right? Actually, let's go. Before I do anything, I want to make sure I take a snapshot. So important. I like snapshots because what you can do with them is I can revert back to a state. So if I go decide to tweak, it doesn't. How's the snapshots in here? There's snapshots. Surely, there's snapshots. Yes, there it is. Yes, let's create a snapshot. Stock. Let's put today's date, shall we? 2025 08 05. Yes. Finish. Oh, that's why I don't do snapshots on this one. Damn it. I'm not using an actual VM file like a QCOW2 or anything for the image. I'm actually using hardware. Damn. Okay. Well, whatever. Whatever. So be it. Yeah, WinForms is absolute garbage. Anyways, yeah, getting back to my story about that, I would say that the switching to XAML was a really interesting thing. I never saw a project do it. There were some projects that when they did PowerShell scripts, there was theorized, here's how you could do it kind of thing. So what I did was I kind of hacked together a solution to where it would import the XAML and then build the GUI in the PowerShell script. And once I did that, I was like, okay, here we go. So I was importing this long string to do the XAML files. And that was wild because it just bloated up the entire script, but it made things look way better. And then you could do dynamic like scaling. You could do all kinds of crazy stuff. So it really opened up everything. And then a professional developer saw my project. I think his name was Developer Derp. Yeah, no, it was Derp. It was Developer Derp for sure. He was like, hey, your Windows utility is like 10,000 lines long, and you're just editing it all in a file. That's insane. You know how insane that is? And I was like, no. And he's like, here's a massive PR. Here's how I would do it. And then that's when the modularity and the compile script and all that kind of came to be, is he's like, hey, I know this is going to be different for you, but I think you should do this. Otherwise, you're going to not be able to maintain this project in the future because it's going to be 20,000 lines long and you're not going to know where the hell anything is. So what he did was he made all like the private and public functions, and then it all would get compiled into that single script, and that's what everyone runs today. Still the same, really, but based on my original structure. But all of the modularity came from Derp, where he made, hey, here's all these, and then he had that compile.ps1 that makes the WinUtil.ps1 file. And that modularity really was able to unlock so much stuff, because then other programmers could go, I want to work on Microwin. Like Coding Wonders with Microwin's editions, a lot of that came available because of Derp's contribution. Conti also came into the project a little bit later than Derp, and he originally redid the UI and said, hey, let's pull in some other libraries. Let's pull in the WPF libraries, and we can make this look a little bit better as well with the XAML. But it broke apart everything. So then front-end designers could work on it, and also back-end designers could work on it, and everything could compile and make something good, and it also would make it very readable. So the modularity made things so much better, and that structure change, I think it was around 2022 or 2023 from Derp, really made opened my eyes to go, oh my god, every project from now on I need to make sure it's modular, so then people can freaking work on the damn thing and it's not just all one file. And yeah, that was super cool. That was really cool. I could clone the VM, yeah, probably, but I don't have right now. I'm just using it directly on a hard drive, so we're not using any kind of file to maintain the VM. But it's so cool to see all this stuff, and I've really enjoyed. Like, that's the thing about programming is, the most programming I think I've ever done in my professional career, like where people pay me money to do stuff, was scripting. Automation and scripting has always been my jam. You know, maybe touched a little bit on Ansible playbooks. I've done quite a bit on PowerShell scripting, obviously, before doing any of this. And then some bash scripts here and there. Actually, some Lua. Believe it or not, there was something called, I think it was like SiteBoss or something, where it controlled all the automation in a trailer that we were sending out. I remember learning a little bit about it and its Lua structure. But I've always been very good with scripts. It's been things I've done professionally, but I've never really dived too much into programming. But as I get more into here and actually get to touch real code and real programming, not just scripting languages, it's been fun. But I'm still such a noob. I'm still very, very fresh. And there's a lot of concepts that I'm like, man, I should probably just go to like the local college and just take like not computer concepts, but probably like a fundamental programming class just to get a refresher. Because the last, I think, fundamental programming class I took was like in 99 or 2000. So about 25 years ago. And yeah, there's been some changes since then. I think it was using Borland back in those days. All right, sorry, let's launch this thing. Enough yapping. You guys just gotta say, God, you sure do talk a lot. All right, actually, no, we're gonna go WinUtil and pull those changes. Let's do a compile run. And we're gonna make a new ISO. We'll build up a whole new Win install with what Coding Wonders did here today. Oh, yeah. Mr. Aguero, I use Vert Manager. We can try to get ISO automatically. This usually fails, though. Well, let's give it a whirl, though. We'll just toss it on the desktop for now. Let's see if it can download the Windows ISO automatically. It's a very hit and miss procedure just because Microsoft changes things quite often. It's neat when it works, though. It might work. Looks like it's working. Usually you get some error back here. But so far so good. Yeah, the online classes like boot.dev, I kind of want to do honestly, I think I just want to go to like a online college or something and just take a course, like a traditional course, instead of just like a boot camp kind of thing, because I kind of understand a lot of the syntax and just basic structure and stuff. I just kind of need, maybe, I don't know. I was thinking about that. I was like, man, maybe I just need to pound around a little bit more, make a couple more projects. I feel like that just, there's something missing. I have a gap somewhere in my knowledge, and I just don't know where that gap is. I don't know what I don't know, and that's not a good feeling. Well, it looked like it worked. Holy crap. Here comes the mouth. Sounds like you need a mentor. Yeah, someone to reviewing guy could help. Yeah, no doubt. I've always just kind of been a loner all my life for the most part. So usually I just kind of just hit my head against the wall until I fix it. But I kind of get that too with GitHub. The nice thing is whenever I make code, you know, people will review it and go, hey, this is what this one and this one is. And I do. So maybe I have a mentor of sorts with just social media. Like when it comes to GitHub and what other people have kind of already done, it's kind of nice. Very fortunate to have everyone watching and contributing and looking at my code. And then when I do screw up, somebody's there to go, hey, you did this wrong. All right, let's go subscribe, disable. Oh, wow. Oh, you added the ESD conversion. All right, let's try it. And then WinUtil configuration file JSON. Yeah. So what this is if we go tweaks. 1 second. If I come back to that, yeah, it's still there. Okay. If we go tweaks, let's just go standard tweaks. Let's do an export. Standard. Actually, before we do that, let's just go take that. Snap window, mouse acceleration, new Outlook. Yep. No widgets button. Let's just clean up some of this really fast. I'm going to disable hibernation. Yeah, we'll do that. Disable recall. We need to move these down into other tweaks. I probably need to put warnings around the ones that really can screw stuff up so people won't do them. So usually I'll do UTC time, classic right click menu. I don't like a lot of animations and stuff, so I like performance instead of the other ones, but some people won't like that tweak. Disable Copilot. Remove Home from Explorer, remove Gallery from Explorer, remove OneDrive. So all that looks pretty good. So this is kind of my basic tweaks that I would choose. Notification tray and calendar. Honestly, I hate notifications as well. So yeah, so it's be something like this. So you select all your tweaks, click export. We're gonna put standard. And then this creates a standard.json file in the background. So then we come over here. We're gonna select the standard tweaks. And then we're gonna start the process. Yeah, this is Windows 11, 24H2. So that's what we're doing it on. We're going to call this one Microwin. And then I usually just date them. Well, let's give it a, which version? 24H2. And then I date the creation of the ISO. So something like this. So it's Microwin 24H2 202025 0805. We're gonna hit save, and then watch it do its thing. Oh man, I spilled it on myself. Oh no, can't take me anywhere. Yeah, it'll take a while. I just want to try the new ESD method. I don't like ESD, but whatever. Yeah, it was like the juices from the egg. I was like, oh no, it's pooling up. Not my precious egg. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what the full build will be like when it comes to the full size. I would guess still probably 5 gigs. Yeah, Calum. I noticed that too on the run spaces side of things. It's kind of wild. Now, almost all traditional tools, like I noticed this about NT Lite and any other ones, it doesn't look like they use any kind of async. And I think if we get run spaces going with Microwin, I think it's already faster than like an NT Lite. But once we get run spaces working and it's doing all this, it'll probably be the fastest ISO creation tool. Period. Yeah. It'll probably be ridiculously fast. But like right now, we started what, about 11:45 my time. So about 2 minutes ago or so. We'll see how long this creation takes. I would imagine 10 to 15 minutes is probably what I would, because the ESD is going to take a while. That'll probably add 5 minutes on. So it's usually probably about 10 minutes. So I would guess around noon. I think this will take probably about 15 minutes. I'll probably finish eating my egg. And then by the time I finish that, we should have us a fully functional system or ISO. And then we'll load it up on a new VM. You can show stream. Have you seen contributors on Discord? Yeah, I'll probably add some kind of notification for when I do WinUtil streams in the Discord. So I know a lot of people want to see this type of stuff. I actually probably just should do a general YouTube video and go, here's all the features that nobody even knows about. Oh, there's a display settings. 1 second. Disable that. Where? It's kind of funny. I don't even know where the hell the display standby is. Okay, give me power options then. Yeah, there we go. Screen timeout. Never. Yeah. Alright, so modifications are done. We should dismount the image. And then we got the compression of the ESD that happens after the image is unmounted. A complete restructure of the project? Yeah. What were you guys thinking? I'll have to check out chat. Yeah. Debugging is quite a bit difficult. That's the problem with PowerShell a lot, is how to debug it in an intuitive way. I struggle with that as well. If you guys come up with a good solution, I'm all ears. I've tried a bunch of tools too. There was one PowerShell tool I used that was really interesting, but the problem with run spaces is there's just not a lot of examples and there's not a lot of documentation. So nothing's really the tool chain that is built around PowerShell. It's just, there's not much I can find in the way of, hey, verbose output when it comes to problems with run spaces. A lot of times when run spaces screws up, you're just like, well, I guess let me guess. What changed in the code? What went wrong? It kind of takes you back to old school programming in a way that you're not really just given a line number that's the problem. It's like, hey, run spaces shit the bed and we got to figure out where that is. And that's a massive problem I see with run spaces. But I mean, nobody really does run spaces. That's the thing. Like, very few people use run spaces with PowerShell, and it's just not well documented. Yeah, for non-async, you can do breakpoints. But since we're using async and run spaces, it doesn't work quite all that well. At least in my experience. Let me pull it up. No, let's go here. Contributor chat. Let's see. Okay, thinking about architectural change to WinUtil related code for some time now. What would your opinion be? Maintainability, performance, robustness? This is theoretical. Structural refactored, layered architecture. The core idea is to reorganize the code in a more clear defined layered structure. This will enhance maintainability, top level modules, and directory could be as follows. You have modules, WPF, XAML. So that's all your GUI components. Management is the core logic and orchestration. Processes handles execution of actions. Tweaks, features, updates, Microwin. Operational flow, run spaces. The main thread will serve as a primary application thread responsible for overall control and coordination. It will manage communication between UI and backend processing. WPF run space, a dedicated run space that will handle all user interface interactions, including main window and pop-up windows. And then also a process run space. So separating, right now, I think our run spaces are just kind of all over the place without any labeling. So we're just kind of, as I said, shooting in the dark a little bit. So yeah, man, this would be nice. The management main thread would remain active, receive regular signals, heartbeats from the WPF run space. The processes run space would stay in an active session. When a user interacts in actions with UI, the management thread will receive the request, delegate the execution to the process run space, allowing the UI to remain interactive. For UI and clarity maintenance, XAML definitions will be separated into main window and resources. Yeah, man, like 1000%. I love this. This is very, very good. If we can do it. Yeah. That would be an insane undertaking to redo that, though. I love how I was like, and by the way, oh man, stay classy, Microsoft. Yeah, man. No, I agree 1000% on all these changes. For sure. That would, if we're able to do them, man, that'd be awesome. Yeah, the conversion to ESD looks like it's going to take... Damn, it almost adds 10 minutes. So, only use that if you really, really need the space. Otherwise, I don't think it's really that worth it. Ah, we're almost there. Oh, eggs. Usually just eggs. What's the difference between ESD and WIM? ESD is essentially just like higher compression. Think of like a zip inside of a RAR type situation. It's the most simple way I can break it down.
I would never do this, by the way. I would, because it's just getting thrown on a thumb drive anyways. So ESD is kind of like a dead compression tool that's rarely ever used anymore. I'm kind of surprised we added it, but I saw it and I was like, well, you guys worked on the code. I'll go ahead and add it. But yeah, no, it kind of sucks. I would never recommend anyone ever to use ESD. It's also going to slow down your install time because it has to uncompress the damn thing. It's just not worth doing. But I thought, let's try it out. Yeah, it was good for DVDs, but essentially these days it's kind of useless. The more I think about it, the more I kind of want to just remove the option. It's kind of a dumb option in 2025. Like, ain't nobody burning DVDs anymore. But some people want as much space savings as they can get. But it does slow things down by a good margin, as we've seen. And it's actually pretty rare you see ESD these days too. So Microsoft's pretty much moved away from them. ESDs were all the rage and kind of probably the Windows 10 era. You saw them used quite a bit, but you know that was 10 years ago now, so I guess it makes sense. But yeah, like, so this is going to probably end up being about 4.2 gigs. If it was in a WIM format, it'd probably be closer to like 5 or 6. Like, what's this one? Let me see. How big is the stock one these days? Yeah, 5.4. So without ESD, it'd probably be about another gig and a half. Just to give you an idea. All right, cool. So we got that. That's fun and fun. You know what? Media images, Win images. All right, great. Just checking. So we're gonna take this. We're gonna hit copy, and we're gonna come on over into. Do we have Win images? Ah, we do not. What's the best way? Yeah, whatever. I just burned a DVD yesterday. Well, there's people that still exist out there, man. Yeah, no, they don't really use it anymore. So like this one right here is 5.4. That's obviously an install.wim. This one actually right here, the Microwin using the ESD files, less than 4 gigs. So ESD was a creation for getting them on DVDs, essentially. One thing I didn't think about is how to get this damn thing off. Oh man. Let's see. What is my IP? Oh, we are not able to hit anything. We might be on a different subnet. Okay. Oh no, we still got access. Alright, great. 1 second. We are going to hit an as so that I can transfer this. Oh no, that's getting blocked. 1 second. Oh no. Yeah, this is blocking all SMB shares. Darn it. Well then. That's no good. Probably the easiest way to do this is just map. I thought I was mapping file system, win images, source path. Let's see, maybe might be missing some information here. 1 second. From this VM, I bet you device manager, where are you at? No, I didn't find anything wrong here. Let's look up VirtIOFS. Let's see if there's something here. Okay. Let's install WinFS. Alright, yep. Yep. Cool. Got that. So, what else do we need? VirtFS PCIe driver, VirtIO service driver. So then you run it. And then come into device manager, look for mass storage controller. I think we already have that. If we look under storage. Oh, we don't have VirtIOFS. VirtIO is virtualization drivers, essentially for QEMU. So we need to install those drivers, it looks like. I do not see anything here. I do see the QEMU hard disk, so maybe this will populate. I don't think it'll populate, though. Yeah. Let's give it a reboot. Installing the service, though. Okay, we're gonna just use SC to create the service binary. VirtIOFS.exe. Let's see if we can find that. Alright, let's go C drive. Let's go VirtIOFS.exe. Copy Party. I don't think I've ever used Copy Party before. So why the Windows search tries to do something. Let's actually see if we can't first find it. I don't think it's nothing in 32-bit. So we got a couple different ones here. VirtIO Win. VIO store, but I need FS. I would imagine it would be this one, but this, oh no, there it is. Disregard, kill, boom. So this is where VirtIOFS is. We're just gonna create the binary. I don't remember it being this involved. Maybe I make a script or something to make this easier in the future. Whatever. Let's just go. Do I want to just do a batch file for this? Sure. Let's go Vim. I don't have Vim installed, do I? Come on. Go Notepad. Vert IO service dot bat. Yep. Got it. Perfect. And let's grab this one. That looks good to me. Looks good to me. And that looks great. Let's go save. And now, if we look, we can run vert IO service.bat. Specified service already exists. Okay, cool. So it did create that. So let's see if we can start that. Oh, fat fingered that one. Access denied. Access granted. All right. Let's see. Should start with Z. Vert IO will start with the first driver Z and then downward. All right. I think we're good. Let's restart. Before we do that, let's check services MSC. Let's go down to Vert IO FS. Oh, it says manual. Let's go automatic. Start, apply, and then was there anything else? What was the dependencies? No dependencies. Alright, we're gonna do a full shutdown and restart. My keyboard is making me look illiterate. Oh, Lawnmower Man. Ah, such a terrible movie, but so entertaining. I remember seeing it. I was like, this is awesome. And then I watched it. I think the last time I watched it was several years ago. And I was like, wow. This was so bad. It's kind of crazy. Like, even like back in the 90s, everyone's like, virtual reality is going to take over. It's going to be like this crazy alternate universe. Oh, man. How young and naive we were. Good times. Where's the metaverse? Oh no, everybody's on the AI hype train now. That's the next big thing. AI is taking over, right? We'll see what the next thing is after AI dies out. Yeah, so like the iterations are kind of funny. Like I think it was like the 90s when virtual reality, like late 90s is like virtual reality was like, oh my god, this is insane. And then like 2000s were all like the .net bubble going in. Everyone had like everything.com. And then after that, probably the next big iteration would have been like Web 2.0. Hey, we got dynamic content on the web. That was like probably the last. That was like not that big of a hype, but had probably the biggest impact. And then the hype became virtualize everything. So everything was virtualized. And then after everything became virtualized, it was like, oh my god, virtualization is the future. This is amazing. And to an extent it was. And maybe this is more my sysadmin bubble. Then around 2009, 2010, everything became cloud. Oh, let's put everything in the cloud. Cloud's the best. And I was like, oh yeah, sure. And then after cloud, it probably went a couple more years. And then what was the hype after cloud? Probably blockchain. I feel like there was something in between the cloud and blockchain. I can't remember anything in there that got like super amounts of hype though. Yeah, anyways, it blockchain for a bit. It kind of ebbed and flowed a little bit. It had like 2 hype cycles, I think. It was like one in 2017, 2018. That was a massive hype cycle with like ICOs and people making like billions of dollars and defrauding people. And then in 2020 and 21 probably, there was another next hype train on it where everyone was like, oh my God. It was NFTs in that one. It was like the blockchain NFTs. And then everyone's like, oh my God, have you heard of this? And I was like, yeah, dude, it's been around for like a decade. This is not new. Don't pay for that JPEG, dude. It's going to be worthless. And then came after that, I think the AI train started happening, last year or two? Where people are like, AI is taking over. It's going to be the future. It's going to fundamentally change the way we live. Yeah. I think there was a Web 3 in there too. You guys remember Web 3? It was like a little bit of something there. So there was a little Web 3 hype for a second. Like I remember looking at like IPFS, which is Interplanetary File System. Cool name. But it runs like ass. And I was like, everything's going to be super decentralized, run through decentralized. It wasn't even a ledger really with IPFS. It's interesting tech. And I even like had my own stuff and registered a whole bunch of different domains. And I mess with Web3 a little bit. I mess with all this quite a bit. And then now's the AI hype train where everyone's like, AI, so yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I guess I'm just kind of older and jaded where I'm just like, I have a hard time biting on a lot of this stuff where I'm just like, yeah, there's going to be some use case, but is it going to fundamentally change your life? Maybe, but probably not in the way you're thinking, you know, and maybe if you have a line level employee job where there's not much creativity needed, and it could be replaced by AI, you might get fired. I think there's just gonna be less jobs because of AI. Frankly, that's I think the biggest impact. The biggest lasting impact is the really smart people are gonna be able to do more with less, and the people that aren't in those positions are just gonna get completely screwed. And I think that's really the too long didn't watch here in like a couple years when we look back. Hey, what happened with that AI hype? Well, we did lose some jobs. And I feel like that's what we got going on. Yeah. Oh, the containers hype train. Yes, that's what it was. I knew I was missing something. Sometime between, and that probably would have fit in right into that gap between cloud and blockchain. Containers were in there. The Docker, Kubernetes, Podman. Oh my God, the containers were insane. It was all the rage there for a bit. It's so weird looking back on all that, but we don't know where anything's going. Like that's the thing. Like when's the next big massive invention? I personally don't think AI is it. I think it's going to be a neat tool to have in your tool bag. That's what I think AI is. But is it like people are making it seem like, oh, it's going to be bigger than the internet? Bro, people are suckers. That's the one thing I've learned. People can get marketed and they can eat this up so good. And then they watch enough YouTube shorts and they just become brain dead zombies that'll do anything you want them to. And that is the modern web in a nutshell. So maybe I'm just a little more jaded because I'm just so into that circle where it's just like, this is gross. This just isn't right. Ugh. Hey, there it is. Yay. All right, Let's put this in here. You sent me an email. I get a lot of emails, Ruby. I get a lot of emails. Most of them I do not read. If we're being real here, usually I just go live and I just do my thing, shut it down for the day, go work out. I just kind of go. AXOS is out. Yeah, I'm not going to cover AXOS. I don't really cover distributions, Linux distributions anymore. Has to be some fundamentally different thing, and most of them don't fit that bill. I will not make a review video on it. Yeah. I just use Arch. Call it a day. Yeah, I'm trying to think, when was the last distro review video I did? Man, it's been a minute. It has been a long time. Probably NixOS, I think, was the last one. Because I was like, oh shit, this is way different than what I'm used to. So I think NixOS was actually the last review video I did. Was that 2 years ago? Damn. Time flies. Yeah. Like I said, it was like something fundamentally different. Here, so far on a live stream. I don't want to shit on your project. AOX Linux project. The Linux experience enhanced. So this looks like I'm betting Arch Linux with WayBar. Well, maybe not WayBar. That might be. Oh, that looks like what's that other one that's it's on the tip of my tongue. Can't remember what that is. Probably Hyperland. And for the bar up there, I've seen one project do it. I want to say the ML4W docs use this. I can't remember. No, that's definitely not Quick Shell, I don't think. Let's look at the docs. Good documentation. Oh, let's see. Select desktop. Helix. So you just got KDE and then some new ones you built. Yeah, I don't know. Let's wiki it. Let's go wiki. DistroWatch. Does anybody use DistroWatch anymore? Does DistroWatch even tell you what it's based off of? AGS. Yeah. That's what it was. AGS is what I was thinking of. Thank you, Cart. It's built on Arch. Yeah. So based on Arch, probably AGS, Hyperland. So yeah, that's kind of what it looks like to me. Like, just why? Like, just install Arch. Kit it out yourself. That's my take. Because you just never know. You never know when someone's gonna be like, all right, I'm done with this. I'm moving on. And then you're stuck on a distro that's not Arch Linux. Where Arch Linux ain't going nowhere. There's our Microwin. God, I gotta delete all those other ones. All right, and then let's go Windows 11. Forward. Let's give it 8 CPUs. And let's go 16, 3, 8, 4. Let's go 50 gigs. Forward, customize. Actually, Oh man, 2005 vibe from DistroWatch. Yeah, I don't think anybody uses distros anymore. Like, I get there's some distros that make it worthwhile, but there's been so many projects come and go. The last thing this world needs is yet another Linux distribution. So, unless it's like truly something different, but just another fork of Debian or Arch, and I'm just like, man, I have zero. I'm like, just rice out Arch or rice out Debian, whatever. What are you doing? What are you doing with your life? No, stop. Oh, good. All right, let's go. 4 cores, 2 threads. Apply. Yeah, I think that should be good. I forgot to hit enter, didn't I? Oh no, there it goes. The Nuri window manager yet? No. The scrolling window manager. It's interesting. I get some people like it though. I probably should check it out. What was the issue again? I can't remember. Let's see. While this installs, we'll just switch over. What'd you have? Oh, yeah. Was there something? Oh, so it requires VC runtime 140. So the workaround is just install the VC runtime. Huh. Interesting. So I think what we can do actually. So one workaround, honestly, you don't have to actually go out and find this VC runtime. It auto downloads and installs it. We actually ran into this on the stream just now, actually, on the stock experience. When I went and ran the toolbox, you can actually just close it, relaunch it, and it should be fine. So this actually installs most of those. And I don't think you need the latest VC runtime. I could be wrong though. We could do a catch and say, hey, we found repair-WinUtil is not found. Download aka.msvs and then the VC run redistributable here and then run it. And then close out of the utility, relaunch, and then everything would be great too. If that didn't work, but it worked for me. It's interesting. Let me think on that a little bit more. It's a good one. Thanks for bringing it up again, Christoph. Unpopular opinion, but I'd ban AI altogether, just like in Dune. In its current iteration, it does more damage than actual positive change. Nah, I wouldn't say that. It's just hyped up. That's all. Everything will find its place. It's just the hype cycle, lazy dev. Not really thing to concern with. Like, eventually, I think a lot of these companies are just going to shoot themselves in the foot. If there's no business sense in it and they're not making money, then it'll end up not working. Or if there's no, like, people figure out, oh, well, the slop that it's producing is just really not that great.
it does its okay job in certain instances, in certain applications, but for the most part, it's just not equivalent to what we can produce with like just real world stuff. So a lot of people, I think, will use the slop portion to make an easy buck, but eventually that gravy train will run out. Just like in blockchain, the ICO train in the 2018s, the NFT train in the 2020s. Eventually the slop, people figure out this is just slop, and it's never gonna be great. It's never gonna be equivalent to a human with mastery. And once they figure that out, the cat's out of the bag and the hype train starts to die. So it's just a matter of that. The problem I have with legislating your way out of AI BS, like here's the truth of it all, and maybe this is just me being jaded, but I think US is just now passing a bunch of AI laws. I haven't even looked into the intricate details, but I imagine this is the too long didn't watch of it. It's just a good way to get handout dollars from the government. These AI companies are going to get injected with just billions of dollars, probably trillions of dollars of our taxpayer money. It's going to get handed over to those big 70-year-olds in power in the C-suite of these AI companies, and then they're going to buy their third or fourth yacht. And that's what's happening. So a lot of the legislation, all it does is just a way of redistributing taxpayer dollars to very wealthy private individuals. At least that's how it works here in America. And whenever you see legislation, you're like, oh, well, there's a nice socialism for the rich here in America. That's just how we do things. It's just another way of giving handouts, but only to the ultra wealthy. And that's how most of the legislation works. And that's how most the government contracts works. I'm not saying it's all bad. Sure, there's some decent regulations here and there, but a lot of times, man, every time I see them you go, hey, we're gonna be the best at this, I'm like, oh no, here comes another handout to another big company. And that's usually how it works. And just in practice, the government just does a very bad job, and there's just too much corruption. And I think that's in a lot of places, not just here, where they step in and then inject a ton of money, and then it's just a massive waste of taxpayer dollars. Yeah, and that's just kind of where I'm at. I'm just like, I wish that's not true. And in some instances, it's not. But when I see the AI stuff, I'm just like, yeah, we'll see. Yeah. And yeah, a generation of ours off the grid. Yeah, I think that will happen eventually. Trickle down economics. God bless. Don't get me started on that. Oh, yeah. It's kind of funny. All right. Well, that looks like it's working good. Look at that. Okay. There we go. I think it's pretty much done. It's not bad. Let's look at the task manager here. Dark mode by default, probably not a bad idea. Alright. Don't see anything happening here. Let's just check CPU usage. Everything looks solid. Okay. We'll close that out. And then just give it a reboot. As far as display manager, device manager, what do we have?
Yeah, just a couple things from probably like the VirtIO stuff. Most people won't need that. I forgot to click install VirtIO drivers. My bad. Yeah, I kind of gave up on removing Edge. There's just, God, it's just so ingrained. Yeah, so, I mean, that's pretty good. Pretty clean. Right out of the gate with Microwin. I don't see an issue. Probably just unpin all that, trash that. That looks good. Yeah, so all this is off by defaults. And then it kind of hides some of that. And then you activate, and then I think you can't personalize or change the dark mode theme until you activate. You can do like a dark mode reg hack probably to do it, but I probably prefer people just, you know, mass grave that and then and then just switch it to dark mode themselves. So yeah, Microwin looks good. That's a very solid solid deal. Probably do another pre-release here. Yeah, changing wallpapers a paid feature. Well, nobody pays for Windows. Not these days. Maybe some normies out there might. But the activation's just a complete joke. Let's see. Where am I going here? Let's go to WinUtil. Yeah, there is always MAS. Yeah. Let's see. Let's go in and go actions. Let's do our pre-release. We did pre-release not too long ago. Actually, I think I'm gonna delete that pre-release. And we're gonna just create a new one. Yeah, so let's just go edit. Just copy that. Then let's trash this pre-release. Let's trash the draft. Now let's create a new one. I think it should grab those other ones a little bit, but we'll see. Sometimes I think it'll grab the old ones. If I delete the pre-release before adding the new release, I think it grabs the other and combines the release notes. If not, I copy the release notes. It's in my clipboard. So let's see what the pre-release gives us. No, we got a PR in WinUtil docs. Yeah, I gotta really revamp WinUtil. It's one of those things. There we go. And now let's look at the releases. We should see that new pre-release. Yes, I think it actually did get it. So, just to show. Yeah. Add scaling functionality from Spooky. The scaling's pretty darn nice by Spooky too, by the way. Telemetry. Pressure. Cool. Yep. So yeah, deleting that old pre-release will be fine. Let's redo this. I'm gonna let this sit for another week as we go through and kind of clean up for a big release coming up. Because the last big release was at the end of June. So we're about a month and a half. And this is actually quite a bit of changes now. There's actually been a lot more than that. I just haven't... I forgot what other changes we made. Yeah, but very good. Very good. How much... what's my activity graph look like on old GitHub? The old GitHub, the hub. 2,000 contributions in the last year. See, I was going like really hot and heavy last August. Where now it's like, just one or two here and there. Nothing, I don't really have a ton. I would also like to do more issues and pull requests. Kind of clean up my graph here. I need to make more issues too as I see them. But other than that, the rest of this looks pretty darn good. MacUtil I still got to get back to as well. I haven't been opening up my Mac very much. I think in the past week or so, I think last time I opened it was last Wednesday, so I might actually get into that a little bit too again. I think really the cool thing, how I envision a lot of the projects that I do, whether it's LinUtil, MacUtil, WinUtil, I kind of want to just make each one, anytime I do something in each of the operating systems, creating scripts for that operating system to do that thing again. So then anytime I go back, or let's say I get a new computer with that operating system on it, I can just run my utility, do my edits, and then everything's right with the world. So that's kind of my thought process. I think I kind of want to try MacUtil. Let's see, we got 8 pull requests, and I wanted to look at a couple different things like the Windows dragging functionality with Avalonia, because this is all Avalonia, and it's my favorite front end so far that we've worked with from a graphic perspective. It looks the prettiest. And I can take that, and I think I can put it in all the other utilities as well. Like Windows utility was the one that makes the most sense with Avalonia. And the reason being is it's already pretty much .NET with XAML. And I think I can just pull the library in, clean things up, and make it look really, really nice. Yeah, I think that would be pretty dope. But I don't know 100%, and I want to see what that transition looks like. The bigger this project gets, the harder it is to work on, though. And that's just every project, I suppose. Yeah, it was a good time for Microwin updates. I think it was really, really solid. We also have 25H2 hitting soon. Would you consider running your own Git instance? Maybe. I mean, the problem I have, and the whole reason why I use GitHub, just having people find my projects and being able to contribute and review code. Everyone has GitHub, and that's why I use GitHub. But if I rolled my own instance, people would have to seek me out and seek that instance out to contribute to it. And I wouldn't get as many contributors because of that. So to me, I wouldn't run it just because I would get less contributions. And to me, contributions are nice. I really like seeing people review my code and going, this is good, this is bad. We could do better here. And then everyone gets better. So more contributions, always a good thing. Yeah. Yeah, maybe gaming. Yeah, 25H2. It actually looks nice. I like the addition. They add a GPO that will rip out all the bloat. That's kind of funny that Microsoft's kind of adding their own debloat into Windows. I think probably just from the sheer amount of debloat tools available on Windows, they're starting to go, maybe we should add a stock option to remove this crap, which I think is a good thing. iOS would be difficult. Yeah, it's just there's so much restrictions on iOS. Android's actually pretty easy. The debloat project there, I won't create my own because I think when you look at the next generation, Android debloat next generation, or I forget what they called it. I have it on the christitus.com where it's just debloat Android, and that's really good for cleaning up things. Yeah, so yeah, exactly. Like whenever GitHub craps the bed, I'll just take all my repos and then push them whatever the next big thing that takes over is. And I'm totally good with that too. See, this is smart. A lot of people always think Dan, you're really smart here. A lot of people always think moving to the latest feature update's a good thing. No, it's not. You should be on 23H2 if you want reliability. I think 24H2 has been nothing but problems everywhere. It's not a good update. 23H2 is decent. So like this is the way to go. I think it's really important to not always just update to the latest feature update or just say, oh, well, let's just install everything. That's a recipe for having problems, having inconsistent Windows experience, having more bloat on your system, just all these things. It's always best to wait when it comes to feature updates. I can't emphasize that enough. If anybody ever has to ask me, Titus, should I do an update to the latest feature update? The answer is always no. Just wait. Just wait for the bugs to get ironed out. In the meantime, stay on the older update. Being a couple revisions behind on Windows is a blessing, not a curse. It's a good thing. So it's very, very important. What about a WinUtil GUI like WinToys or... Let's see. What's this? Ride Tunics. Oh, built in the WinUI. Is this C#? I'm betting. Boom. C#. Called it. Yeah. Yeah, so I think originally I was going to use WinUI 3 toolbox, but I think Avalonia makes more sense. And I think I can do it all through my existing structure in WinUtil and make it look pretty darn good, much like how this one looks with Rytunix, which I've never even heard of, but we'll use it as an example. So this is the WinUI 3 toolbox, but I can pretty much emulate this and make my own thing using our existing structure without having to change too much and just pulling in one little library to build it out. And I think we can make something that looks really, really good. Very, very close to WinUI 3. It's not going to be exact, but it's going to be close. So that's cool. Oh man, Win 98 first edition. Yeesh. Man, ME had tons of issues. Honestly, though, the Chad of this era was probably one of my favorite residential spins. Well, I guess you can't even really call it residential, but Windows 2000 Workstation was amazing. It was a really, really good version of Windows. A lot of people always look at XP with rose-colored glasses. I never was a huge XP fan. There's certain XP that I thought lightweight, especially like during the late 2000s. You could go to like an XP 64-bit. And if you really knew exactly what you're doing, you could get just stupid performance from that. It was great. But yeah, I really enjoyed Windows 2000. It was great. But yeah, 98, 95 were always kind of janky, but revolutionary for the time. And yeah, I think there was actually 2 teams at Microsoft. There was the NT kernel team, and then there was also the 98 team, which I think they all got rolled up into one during the XP era. XP 64-bit edition was Server 2003 with the Luna theme. That makes sense. Because I loved... I loved it. It was cool for gaming and other things at the time. Yeah, I think that probably one of the biggest misconceptions about Windows 7 was it was pretty long in the tooth after 2015. So Windows 7 required so much patches, and they didn't do a very good job of implementing a lot of the patching. And by the time like 2017, 2018 happened, there's just so many security holes that like running Windows 7 was just actively asking for someone to rob you. Man, it was just so bad. And the patching for Windows 7, if you went from like a install from 2010, you know, one of the first iterations of Windows 7, and you had to patch it up after like 6 or 7 years, my God, you'd run into like 20, 30 gigs of patches that you're doing. It was just crazy. So a lot of people didn't even install original Windows 7. Oh God, most people I think were using like NT Dev, ISOs, and other jank. It was just not good. Anytime I saw Windows 7 post 2015, probably, I was always just like, probably 2016 actually. It was Windows 10 that came out in 2015. It took about a year or so. And I think probably around 1703 of Windows 10, pretty much everybody should have been on that. So to see Windows 7 still floating around in the wild, I was just like, oh, God, no, that's awful. Say what you will about Windows 8, at least it was as fast as 7. Yeah, Windows 8 was interesting. They had some ideas. The start screen was just completely crazy, though. Like, God, what drugs were they on thinking, hey, instead of a start menu, what if we have a start screen? Everyone's going to be using tablets. Yeah, okay. They really missed on that one. Hindsight's 2020, though. It's cool that they tried something new. But yeah, I think they were like, everyone's going to switch to tablets. No computers anymore. Nobody uses tablets. Talk about a miss. The tablet hype was a big, big miss in the tech world. I guess iPads are still around. And the occasional like Samsung tablet you might see. But man, yeah, you just don't see tablets much. And that's where like Windows 8 was pretty bunch banking. And the weird thing was, like, Windows 8.1 lost support for drivers before Windows 7 lost support. How weird is that? Yeah. So, like, if you had an AMD card, I think AMD dropped support for Windows 8 in 2018, where they kept support for Windows 7 until 2020. That's wild. Like, literally, Windows 7 had 2 years more driver support from AMD than Windows 8 did. That's pretty wild. So, yeah. Yeah, the Steve Ballmer era was so weird. Most successful roommate of all time. Developers. Oh, cocaine's a hell of a drug. Oh my God, what a weird time. Gotta love it though. And now Microsoft starts thinking getting your way around Windows with a mouse will feel like an alien, like Gen Zers using DOS.
It's so weird. What isn't adaptive when it comes to using old players? I don't know. Yeah, the AI agents for the OS, that's going to be a big miss. It's just not intuitive. It's not good. And the weird thing that they've done with the OS that just still drives me up a wall is when you're looking at the start menu and other things, they've made it more convoluted and there's more clicks to get to the thing that you need to disable or change than it used to be. So like when you use Windows Utility, the whole premise was, hey, let's just make this a one button click. There's no reason for that to actually be a thing though. Like that's just bad design. That's someone like purposely convoluting something that needs to be simple or that used to be simple and now it's convoluted. And that's Windows in a nutshell. Like they've made it look prettier, I'll say that. I mean, it does look newer and more modern. It's just finding stuff is just really, really bad. So I don't know why. I don't know why they were there. Windows Server versions, especially 2018 version, was excellent. Also has a desktop operating. Agreed, Lazy. Lazy Dev 2008 R2 was my absolute favorite Windows Server version of all time. Just absolutely love it. Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see what Windows 12 looks like. Maybe they'll try something new. But I have an idea. What I'm envisioning, given their current position, is it's going to just be some AI slop. And it's going to just be nasty. I'll still install it. Well, you know, there's money to be had there. Judging it by how bad it is. But we'll see. We'll see. Once the preview comes out, I'll be the first to install it. I'll be up there waiting, and I'll have my notebook ready. I'm like, all right, what are we changing? Let's see how bad they screwed this up, and then I'll just go through. But I don't know. Maybe it'll be just them going through, and I think Windows 11, I think we can all agree, was pretty much a miss for Microsoft. And maybe they polish things up because Microsoft does usually do like hit, miss, hit, miss, hit, miss when it comes to the releases. So maybe the next one won't be so bad. Just judging by historical accuracy of them, but I don't know. If it comes out like in the next year, I think it's just going to be some nasty AI Copilot BS with recall enabled. I mean, they could just totally shit the bed here with Windows 12. And I think if it gets released in the next year, they totally will. But I don't know. Like I said, we'll see. We'll see what that ends up look like. Everyone's been calling for the subscription-based OS. I don't see that. I don't think they'll do a subscription-based model for the OS itself. Maybe they do like subscription for like Copilot, like, oh, you want to get to your trash. You want to empty your trash. I'm sorry you didn't pay your $5 a month. So I can only do basic requests. Oh my god, that would be so hilarious. That'd be like totally like Ready Player One style of advertising. God, I hope they do that. There's a part of me that's just like wishing and praying that they just completely screw this up, because it would just be years of content for free that I wouldn't have to think about. I'd be like, sweet, Windows got an update. Here comes a video because it's made for me. And then it'd just be me ripping apart. Like all my best received videos is me just installing the latest update of Windows and going, let me tell you why this is so bad. And everyone going, yes, finally someone said it. Because it seems like a lot of the other marketing around Microsoft is there's like so many little hype men for Microsoft. And it shocks me. Like it's such, there's such low hanging fruit there to just go, wow, what were you guys on when you made this? But it's fun. Let's make some content. And that's That's why I love Microsoft, because it's like the one thing I can always bank on is their incompetence. They are just so great at releasing terrible products. They've always been this way, though. It's not like anything new. It's, you know, they've always been just. I think Steve Jobs said it best. Microsoft just has no taste. And they've never had any taste. And that is so true. Steve Jobs, like, just hit the nail on the head. Say what you will about Apple. You know, they have their own set of problems that I've gone over pretty extensively. But damn, Steve Jobs was 100% right there. Like, they just don't have any taste. And I don't know why. It's so weird. Anywho. It's funny. All right, guys, let's drop off old YouTube. I'm going to stop the stream.